Hello YouTube, we're back at it again today with another Sims 4 video. So I've only ever been a casual player of The Sims, and it was only recently that I started to watch Sims tubers on YouTube. Up until about maybe a month or two ago, I didn't know that CC existed. So I've only ever played The Sims with the content that's been provided to me by the powers that be. However, a lot of the Sims tubers I watch like to use CC because sometimes the CC is just beautiful and it can really add something to your game and your builds and your Sims whenever you take the time to find it and download it. So I personally came up with a little challenge for myself where I would take a recognizable character or a group of characters and I would build them in two ways. First, I would build them using only things that are provided in-game, and secondly, I would build them using as much CC as possible to see which ones I end up liking better. And so today I would like to present to you my two versions of the Powerpuff Girls. So to start out with the three Sims, I decided to make each of them all have the same exact face. That way they would essentially be triplets except for their personalities and what I've put on their bodies. So here we have Bubbles Utonium. For Bubbles' personality, I've decided to go with Friend of the Animals. In the old cartoon, Bubbles was the one that could speak to squirrels, and she was always the one saving the dog, so I thought this fit her really well, especially more over some of the other choices that we have. And then I have her, she is good. She is cheerful because Bubbles is the bubbly one. The joy and the laughter, as they say in the theme song, and she's an animal enthusiast to go ahead with her aspiration. For her default look, this is kind of her hair. I decided to go with pigtails because she has pigtails in the show, and this is just a nice cute version of that. Then for her outfit, just a cute blouse and a top. So I wanted to dress all of the girls based on what their personalities were, and so for Bubbles, I wanted to do something that was kind of cheerful, a little more girly, more along the lines with a sort of cutesy sort of fashion, or like girly chic, I guess would kind of be the word for it. So this is her everyday look: a blouse, a skirt, cute little wedge shoes, and then some earrings. She does have blue eyes and very subtle makeup. I didn't want to put anything too drastic on her. For her formal look, really simple: a cute little dress and cardigan with little heels. We put her hair up just to get it out of her face with the cute little braids pulled back into a ponytail. Her workout gear, just some nice blue sweats and some tennis shoes. So for the, not base game, but for the in-game content, for the athletic, I just chose the same pair of sweats for each of the girls, just in their color. For sleep shirt? For pajamas, we have a cute little pajama set and some bunny slippers because out of all of them, Bubbles would be the one in the bunny slippers. Her party look is this sweater dress with some boots and some leggings. I did like this, especially because it does kind of give you the reminiscent dress that they used to wear. It would have been blue with like a black piece in the middle, so it is kind of reminiscent of that. This is the only outfit that looks anything remarkably what they might have used to wear in the show, so I wasn't really trying to make them. I wanted to do a reimagining of them as Sims, obviously. Her swimsuit, a cute little one piece, nothing too fancy. This is her hot weather look. I absolutely love this romper. It's from Island Living, and I don't think that I knew this existed until I put this on her, so I'm glad that I found it. I think this is absolutely adorable. And then finally, her cold weather look. I think when it came to the in-game content for these three girls, their cold weather looks were the hardest for me to put together. I'm not entirely sure why. There's a lot of great cold weather outfits in the game, but for some reason, I think because the colors were limiting and I needed her to be blue, it was just hard to find things that kind of went together. But I think I like this with the long sleeve shirt, sweater layered over the top. These pants I think are peak Bubbles. I think she would 100% wear these. And then these cute little boots with also have a flower on the side to match the pants. Overall, I think it went rather okay. So here we are over in CC land. I'm going to try my best to let everyone know what the CC is on these girls. I do have them all written down in a Google document. However, they're not in order, so I'm going to try my best to remember. And the G-Doc is available for anyone who asks for it. I have it in the comments of these girls in the gallery because both sets of girls are available in the Sims 4 gallery. So starting out with Bubbles, we have this Ahoob. I believe this is the Luxe Hair version 2, which is just the Luxe Hair with the bangs, I believe. We do have Praline Sims eyes. These are the arcane eyes for Bubbles. Her ears are still pierced, and I went with a different sort of makeup, although it's not CC makeup. But I did change up the makeup whenever I came over here just to have things a little bit different. This dress here is the Wakey candy pop suspender dress, and I think this looks absolutely adorable. It's very cutesy, and I think that this heart really speaks to who Bubbles is as a character. The shoes are in-game shoes. I didn't spend too much time looking for shoes whenever I was downloading all the CC. Once again, this is my first time ever using CC. I did not know how to find it, and I had to essentially teach myself how to go through and find everyone and then download all of it, and it was a lot for me to do all at once. And so shoes weren't a priority, makeup wasn't a priority, jewelry wasn't a priority. I was mostly looking for the outfits to dress the girls in. For Bubbles' formal look, we have another A-hoop hair. I believe this is the Kira hair with bangs, hopefully. I don't think these are in order. I think that's what it is though. This top is actually an in-game top, but this skirt, which I think I did just to color match. And then the skirt, I believe, is the Axa Selena skirt in the solids option. And then we have another pair of in-game shoes. So I did have a lot of fun with athletic whenever I started doing the CC. This jacket here is the Sim Laugh Love hoodie with the short sleeves and cropped in blue. Oh, the hair. The hair is the Axa Hunter hair version 1. The shorts, or the Backtrack high-rise sport shorts. And then, of course, the shoes are, once again, in-game content. For sleep, we're back to some A-hoop hair that's already been listed, but the nightgown is the Kumikya Jasmine Sleep. And then the bunny slippers, because of course we did. Now, the party wear is a lot of fun. For the eyes, these are actually the Praline Sims Solus eyes. Like in the in-game content with the athletic wear, where I had all the girls wear the same athletic wear, I did the same thing in the party wear for these girls, where their eyes, I put the Solus eyes-ins for all of them. I like the idea that if they were all going to a party, the one thing that they could agree on would be that they're wearing these crazy contacts to get everyone's attention. And so these are the blue Solus eyes from Praline Sims. Her makeup now, a little bit more dramatic. It is the same makeup as before, but I made it a little bit more opaque so that you could see it better. The shirt is from Axa again. It is the Cora top patterned, which I think is cute. It's a little crop top. And then the skirt is also Axa. I believe it is the Windy Skirt Solids, but it might have mixed up with the Selena skirt. But I think this one is the Windy skirt. The fishnet stockings are in game, but the boots are actually the Lilili ankle Hannah boots with little heels. This is the Sim Laugh Love cross-strap swimsuit, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. To be fair, most of this stuff is absolutely gorgeous, but there were just some things that when I saw them, I was like, oh, this is definitely going to be my Bubbles outfit, and this was one of them. For hot weather wear, I think I struggled. This is the Bubbles outfit that I'm least sure of. I think I struggled pretty hard to put the hot weather wear together for her. But the top is another Kumikya. It's the ribbed one shoulder. And the skirt is another Kumikya, the Izzy skirt. And the shoes are in-game, I believe, yes. And then finally, the cold weather. This is the Via V Santalina oversized Henley sweater, which is adorable. I did want to put a scarf on top, but unfortunately the scarf that I did download clip through her hair, and I just didn't have the energy to try and find another one, so I gave up on that, but I still think the sweater is absolutely gorgeous. I love this off-the-shoulder look for Bubbles. I definitely think it fits her personality well. The pants are the Axa Rachel Jean Skinny, and finally the shoes are the Arltos T shoes number 58. And that's pretty much everything we have for Bubbles. For Blossom, I decided to make her a Renaissance sim, someone who is, you know, going to be in search of knowledge. The best way to lead is to fill your brain with information. I think you have to be a very smart person to lead, and Blossom was always the most studious person in the cartoon, and so I feel like being a Renaissance sim is good for her, and it helps her become a quick learner as well. Her traits are perfectionist, neat, and ambitious, and I think that kind of makes her the way I picture her, I think is the best way to say it. To sidetrack for a bit, I did go and put likes and dislikes for each of them. I made a certain thing easy where I just made them all like blue, green, pink, and red. That way, if you wanted to decorate their house in those colors, that none of them hate the house colors, but things do get a little bit difficult with the music. They all like different music, and then they all like different activities, but the activities aren't going to matter as much when it comes to them liking a household. They just might fight. I would suggest not putting a radio in your house if you decide to use them. Of course, you can always change any of the things that I've chosen here. For Blossom, because she is the commander and the leader, I wanted her to have more of a professional look, like she's more business casual or smart casual as compared to the other two girls. So for her everyday look, I gave her a watch because I feel like of the three, she would be the one to more likely wear a watch. And then a cute little blouse and pants sort of combo with some flats. I think that would be very smart of her. I think this is a very good look, especially in this pink color. I just think it really speaks Blossom. This pink color works great with this outfit. And so if we go on to her formal wear, I think when it came to Blossom, both in the in-game content and the CC, her business was just the hardest for me to pull off. And I'm not entirely sure why. Once again, I wanted her to be in slacks more than I wanted her to be in a dress. And we have this cute little button down with the ribbon tie and some cute heels. So I think this works as best as it could for in-game. I'm sure there are a couple of different options I could have chosen that were more dressy, but I wanted her to look more professional than as if she were going to a party. Once again, with the athletics, I chose the same exact outfit. This is the pink version of the jumpsuit. It's the same running shoes as well with the pink on it. For her pajamas, I decided to do this button-down shirt just because I thought it would be funny to carry on this formal style while she sleeps as well. And then her party, this sweater dress with the white leggings and the little booties. I don't know what it is about the sweater dresses because Bubbles also had a sweater dress, but they feel very party to me. I also chose the white leggings just because it does remind me of their old outfits as well because they always had white leggings and black shoes on in the cartoon. For swimwear, this cute little thing I thought was absolutely adorable. It almost feels smart casual swimwear to me. I don't really know how to explain it, but it is sort of like a classic style that I think fits Blossom really well. And then here we have this pink romper for hot weather look, which I think is probably the best that I could do. I actually really love this romper, so it's not that I settled for it. I just think it fits Blossom in still a very smart casual way. It almost makes me feel like she's going build houses for charity. And then, of course, her winter wear with the pink jacket and these pink rose pants and some nice little winter boots underneath. Moving over to Blossom, we have another A-hoop hair. This is actually the A-hoop Blossom hair with bangs and bow. I do use both versions of this hair, the with bangs and without bangs, which you'll end up seeing. The old Blossom cartoon, she did have bangs, so I did want to have bangs be her main hair. And then, of course, the bow. Her eyes are the Praline Sims Carlia eyes, number 142, which just fit better for her. And then the dress is the Sin Tate 2020 Cassie dress. Oh, and the shoes. Blossom is, I think, the only one that has CC shoes for every single one of her outfits. They're pretty much the same. They're all the Green Llamas, Gossip Mary Janes. Both versions 1 and 2 are used on Blossom in my build. In my Sims. So Blossom's formal wear was the hardest for me, and I think I said it was the same for the other one as well. There just wasn't something that I thought fit Blossom in the way that her very strong leader personality in the way that I imagined. This is the Gossip Blair Blazer by Green Llamas. The reason that I wasn't so sure about this outfit is because it's cropped and I couldn't find a longer version of it. I also didn't look very hard, but I couldn't find the longer version of it, and I didn't feel like Blossom would be wearing that sort of cropped style. But I did think it paired nicely with this is the Green Llamas Gossip Serena skirt. They go together very well, and then the Black Mary Janes with a black bow in her hair. This is the A-hoop Blossom hair with no bangs, just to sleek back for her formal look. I had so much trouble with the formal look that I actually made more than one, trying to figure out what I was going to do. Once again, same sort of style, A-hoop, no bangs with the Mary Janes. I do like this jumpsuit. This is the Nitro Panic open jumpsuit. However, once again, I just didn't think it fit Blossom's personality. It was almost too sexy than the Blossom that I had in my head. And then finally, same hair, different color bow. This is the Melon Sloth Caroline coat, which I actually really like, and it might be my favorite of the 3 Blossoms that I put together because it almost feels like she is a first lady, or I guess a president even. Just going out, some sort of politician that is going out and trying to be the best that they could be. In the end, I couldn't really make a decision, so all 3 are available. For our athletic, we didn't change the hair much. It's still the Blossom hair. It just doesn't have the bow included. Her makeup is off. And these are it's a Marvel top and bottom. They are the Annie top and Annie sweats. These are in-game shoes as well. And then I changed her watch. Her usual watch is the white watch with the heart in it, I believe, or it's just red. I changed her watch as if she were wearing a Fitbit for working out. I thought that was funny. So this is her sporty look. To sleep in, it's still a similar thing with the button-down style. Instead of looking like an actual button-down shirt, though, this is actually a nightgown. So this nightgown is the Simming Inchy Charlotte dress. I wanted her to have her hair down while she's sleeping, just because a ponytail is atrocious when you're sleeping, and so this is just the A-hoop Cleo hair that I almost forgot that I did. But yeah, I just wanted her to be more comfortable while she was sleeping. So I gave her something a little different. Her party look, once again, we have the Soulless Eyes by Praline Sims. And then this dress is the top Nord's Demure dress. And then we have the fishnet stockings again, with the same boots that Bubbles had, which is the Lily Lee Hannah boots, the ankle version. This swimsuit is the Mysterious Ooze swimsuit with cross straps. I think it's cute. Once again, these girls were just not girls that I pictured in bikinis. And so I did take a lot of time to try to look for swimsuits that I thought fit their style. I really like this sort of cross strap thing. There's something about the high waist that I think really suits Blossom the most. For her hot weather hair, I went with a, I believe this is an in-game ponytail just to get her hair off her neck. Once again, just thinking about her, trying to make sure she feels comfortable. She's the one least afraid to go out of her style. This top is the Nord's Renata top, and this has been paired with the Axa Selena skirt patterned version with the Mary Janes again. I think she's looking very stylish. And then finally her cold weather look. This is the Axa Chanel sweater version 1, which is just the more cropped version, I believe, paired with the Axa Clark jeans and the Altos T shoes number 37, which are these cute little winter boots with pom-poms on the side, which I really like. I only just noticed that these pants clip through the boots. Oh well, too late to change it now. I don't think I would even care about this in game. I might. It depends on how much I actually looked at it, but I don't think she's ever gonna wear her winter clothes enough for me to pay that much attention to it. I always seem to be looking at a million different things when I play The Sims, so things like that I don't notice too much. It's not very overt, in my opinion. And then Buttercup, I decided to go with the bodybuilder trait. Gives her a high metabolism. She is adventurous, as you would expect. She's active, as you would expect. And she's hot-headed because she was always the character in the Powerpuff Girls that lost their temper. Now, for both the in-game content and CC, I think Buttercup was the hardest of the three girls to create. I wanted Buttercup to be very athleisure or tomboyish just because she's always been the tough one. She's the athletic one. She is the toughest fighter, as they say. But for some reason, in-game and in the custom content, I couldn't find a lot of CC or things that I was happy with that I thought fit Buttercup to the picture that I had in my head. I did my best to try to make her both tomboyish and feminine at the same time, but this is kind of what I came up with, and I think I'm happy, especially with the CC at the end. But here's what she looks like in the in-game content. For her everyday look, we just kind of, well, first we went short hair. I decided not to pierce her ears. The other two girls have pierced ears. Buttercup, however, does not. She also is the only one that doesn't have any makeup on. But I really like this green and brown combo for Buttercup. She has a long sleeve layered under a t-shirt, then a jacket just in case she wants it, the shorts, this is all a full set, and then some brown shoes just to pair with the jacket. For formal, once again, formal wear, it was just hard. I didn't want her to wear a dress, and there weren't many feminine pantsuit options. Even just like scrolling down like this, you mostly find dresses. That's the CC stuff. And that's for the full body. So it was really difficult to pair something together, but I did find this cute button-down shirt, some slacks, and black boots that I think work. Not entirely sure about that though. Once again, athletic, the green with the green shoes. The green and yellow actually is very reminiscent of the Japanese version of the Powerpuff Girls Z, where Kaoru Matsubara, who is the Buttercup character, her color palette is green, white, yellow. And so I did enjoy that this green jumpsuit had the yellow stripes on the side, just for that kind of throwback. For sleepwear, Buttercup is definitely the one that would be in a t-shirt and shorts, so I gave this long sleeve sweater and some shorts. Party look, absolutely love these coveralls, and I actually think that these would also be great for Buttercup's everyday look as well. But I decided to just go with the party look. Like, Buttercup is ready to get down, get dirty, have some fun. I don't know why, but I picture like Buttercup to be going to those like field parties where everyone's out in this big field with like kegs and rolling around in dirt. I don't know why that's in my head. That Buttercup is going to very different parties than the other two girls are. For swimsuit, I couldn't picture Buttercup in anything that was overly feminine, but we do have like a bikini with a cover up and some shorts here, which I think worked best without putting her in like a full wetsuit. For hot weather, classic short sleeve plaid with some shorts and some flip-flops. It's the thing I was most comfortable with, I think. And then of course, cold weather is just a sweater, some jeans, and some shoes. Nothing too exciting, but I did try my best. This was also the best short hair that I could find that I thought fit the Buttercup style. There were some of the other ones I just wasn't happy with. However, we do get a little bit of a different look with the CC, which you will see in now. Her hair stays exactly the same for every single outfit. This is the Subtle and Stubble EA Bombshell hair, her updated version, or their updated version. Finding short hairs that I like and I thought fit Buttercup's personality was an absolute nightmare, in my opinion. There are so many beautiful long hairs for CC, and not as many options, and I've already said this, for short hair or tomboyish sort of outfits or things that could be like both feminine and sporty at the same time. And so I am actually really happy with how Buttercup turned out in the end. It just took me so much longer to find outfits for her than it did the other two. But I do really like this hair. I think it's honestly amazing. So this is the Subtle and Stubble EA Bombshell updated version. The eyes are the Praline Sims Morgause eyes, number 128. And then she is once again the only sim that's not really wearing makeup. She has eyeliner on, but that is about it. This top here is the Nord's Coco Eco jacket in this beautiful green color. And I'm so surprised that I was able to find these color match jeans. These are the Shake Productions number 236 jeans. These shoes are the My Mouth winter boots. This jumpsuit, I'm actually really happy that I found this jumpsuit. I think it's beautiful, and it's definitely a step away from being a dress without being too masculine for Buttercup. And this is the DNTSR 2-layer jumpsuit, which I think is just absolutely gorgeous. I think I chose shoes that weren't formal wear, just because I just wanted some nice black shoes, and they didn't have to be formal. Buttercup doesn't have to be formal 100% of the time. It's fine. For her athletic wear, this is the Trilky Jealousy athletic top, and then these pants, they're listed as jeans, but they look like sweatpants that I think I actually got out of Emerged files, but they are Saurus, and then the shoes are in-game shoes. For sleepwear, these are the Kumikia Rib Square Neck with the Simguk Plant Mom Tied Shorts, which I think are meant to be jeans, but whenever you look at them from the front, they look like pajama pants. And so I just love the way that these two things look together. And so, you know, everything goes out the window. Who cares what they're meant to be? For the party look, I think this is probably the weirdest party look I put together, but I really wanted Buttercup to have camo pants at some point, and I think this actually looks great for a party look. Once again, Buttercup's going to a different party than these other two girls. Buttercup's ready to get down in the dirt and get dirty, rolling around in the mud, I guess. Once again, Solus Eyes in green. Praline Sims. This is the Axa Zoe top, the solids version, and then these camo pants are the Shake Productions 568. And then of course these are the same winter boots, the Maymouth winter boots from before. Swimwear, I love this as a swim outfit. It's a bikini without actually being a bikini. These are actually just athletic clothes. This top is the Soli Soul Shark sports bra paired with the Soli Soul Shark short leggings. So it's meant to be athletic wear, but I think this makes an absolute gorgeous swimsuit in my opinion. And I've worn athletic clothes into a pool before, so who's to say you can't do it? Not me. And then barefoot, because of course. For hot weather wear, I decided to do another callback with the yellow from the Powerpuff Girls Z, with Kaoru Matsubara being green and yellow. This is the Axa Zoe top, but this is the graphics version. And this is paired with the Trilky hashtag cargo shorts, which I think look absolutely amazing together. Definitely feels more of a Buttercup style, especially with these flip-flops, than something the other two girls would wear. And then finally, we are bringing it all to a close with this final winter outfit. This is the Nord's Zest jacket paired with the Axa Rachel jeans, the skinny plaid version. And finally, these boots are the Shake Productions number 800. And so altogether, I think whenever you look at all of these side by side, like I said, both versions of the girls, both the in-game version and the CC version are available on the Sims 4 gallery. I think I would have benefited from doing more of a mix, which I think is true of anything. I was tried to be very hard starch in game versus very hard start. Wow, staunch is what I mean. CC, just to see what it was like, because I've never used CC before. This is my first ever time using CC. And so I wanted to try to throw these two together and just see what I like more. And at the end of the day, using both probably would have made me feel a million times better than just trying to stick to one. And obviously there were some exceptions here and there with like a hair here, or the makeup, or some shoes here. But I think they both turned out wonderful. I would be very happy to play with either of these three adaptions. And I actually look forward to doing other character adaptions in the future. I already have a couple of ideas lined up, but I think I will do a little bit of a mix of everything instead of just doing hardcore in-game content versus hardcore CC. And that is pretty much it. That is all she wrote. And there you have it, folks. I had a lot of fun doing all of this. This is my gallery. We're going to see it flip through a couple of things, but that's pretty much it. I had a ton of fun. I really enjoyed being able to adapt these characters in the way that I did, and I do hope to continue this in the future. I don't know if I'll continue to make videos about it, but, you know, I've tried my best. I find that it's actually really hard to make these Sims videos because I feel like I need to be scripted more for these Sims ones for it to actually be interesting. So we'll see if I decide to carry on and showcase my other characters whenever I put them together. For now, though, we're going to go ahead and call it here. Really thank you guys for giving me your time and watching this video if you've made it this far. And I'll see you guys another time. Goodbye!